Episode 8.
Episode 8.
Episode 8.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome to episode 8 of the Ultra RC Hobby Show. Tonight, Chris and I are going to be talking about the UDR. We kind of had a little bit of a mishap with servo, so we'll be showing you guys and gals tonight on what we're changing with the servo, kind of the mods we needed to do. Chris is pretty excited to run it, so we've been running it on 4-cell lots. So tonight we're going to show you to change over back to run it to 6-cell. So we got this little mount we have to change over. Thanks, I got that screw. And what else are we talking about tonight, Chris?
We're going to go over a tool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I know you don't use this tool.
No, I don't
We're going
use
to get
these.
you converted after this video. But yeah, other than that, welcome to episode number 8. So, we're going to show you how to do this servo mod here. Chris is pretty amped up. He wants a UDR, and he wants to learn how to get in and get this servo out. So, to do it here, we have to take battery plate off, so we don't need that. And then there's going to be 8 screws. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to take this skid off. Luckily, we already took them out because it takes a little bit of time. So this just pops out, and you kind of have to pry it out because it does lock in the front of the skid plate right there. So we already got this servo in, and it was kind of a nightmare. We played around with it quite a bit. So to get the actual servo itself out, you have to take this screw out. And this screw out.
It's a nice electric screwdriver using.
Yeah, so this is the Milwaukee Fuel M12 impact driver. And the nice thing is it's 1/4 inch, so you can buy these bits from us. We sell MIP bits. You can also get Huddy, EDS, OFNA, a whole bunch of other ones. But this makes life really, really easy, as well as it's clutched, so you can turn up or turn down the amount of torque that you put on it. So kind of a nice little tool there. But yeah, getting back to the servo.
Yeah.
You just pull it out, and there's just 4 screws on the front of the servo here that you need to pull off to pull the mount out. But the problem that we were running into is finding a servo horn short enough so that the drag link actually doesn't rub in the chassis. So we took an actual dynamite servo horn. We'll put the link down below, as well as link it on Facebook as well, because the stock horn looks like this, so it is pretty short, but we obviously don't want to put the plastic one back on, and the problem is we put a high-tech 7955 TG titanium gear servo in there, and it's not 25 spline like the Traxxas one. So obviously we can't use it. So if you are gonna do the servo, just make sure that your servo horn doesn't drag the drag link in the bottom of the chassis. And the other thing we have to do is we actually have to Dremel out the bottom of this honeycomb plate. So the servo sits inside of here, and the problem that we found is the honeycomb on bracing for this bottom plate actually was grinding into the servo, and we couldn't get this plate down enough. So that we just have to grind out 2 more squares this way, and then we just cleaned them up with the Dremel. So that's one other thing you do have to do while you're doing this, which was kind of a pain because you get it in, you get it all bolted back together, and then nothing fits. So it was kind of a frustrating experience. But other than that, just making sure your servo horn's the right length. And this one we actually did have to cut and trim as well. So a Dremel is going to be required for this mod, for dremeling down the servo horn as well as the honeycomb. But other than that, it was pretty much a bolt in. And now we're going to put it all back together. So I'm going to let Chris do that because he really wants to work on it. And then we're going to change this bad boy over to run 6-cell again, because we had it set up for 4. And then we're going to go take it outside. We just got snow today, so it is going to be a blast. Put it down for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get the 2 button screws for the servo mount, and then everything else is countersunk. And that's the nice thing with the clutch right there. So
You don't
if
have to
it
worry about
set,
over-tightening screws.
yeah, if it's set down on the lowest setting, you just have to tighten everything down, and it does the rest for you. It's never a bad idea though, if you are going to use that, you can clutch it and then check it with just the hand driver as well, just to be on the safe side. So now with dremeling out that honeycomb, this just sits flat, and we have no more issues. So Chris is going to now put all 8 screws in there. I'll hold them for you.
Thank you.
We're working on a Cow RC Pro pit mat here. So it is actually magnetized, but it's kind of tricky sometimes when you put the screws in the pockets. They're hard to get to sometimes if you're in a rush.
Yeah.
Chris, there's all the pressure on you right now. We're filming this.
I'm trying really hard. Don't miss any of the holes.
Yeah. Just think of how much more time you're saving by using this tool instead of your hand driver.
Yeah, true.
I know.
Still like fixing stuff by hand.
That's lame.
Anyway.
Okay. Now he's on his last screw, so we're getting there.
Second last.
Second
Sorry.
last. Oh, you missed.
I didn't miss any.
It's kind of disappointed now.
It's like bolting on the moped. You don't just go around like this.
True. Torque spec, boys. Torque spec. Okay, so now that we have the skid plate back on, like I said, we were running it in the 4-cell configuration, so we do need to switch back to the original mount that the car came with, which looks just like this. So running it in 4-cell, we actually put this mount in, and with that mount, it actually covers up a slot for another battery to sit in there. So when we take this out, what we're going to find is there's going to be a jumper series connector that we are going to have to pull out as well. So this just pops right out, just like that. And this is the jumper series connector. So it looks just like this. So it just completes the series and makes it so you have one battery, not two. So when we took that off, now we have 2 slots to put the battery in. So we will need again to put this back in there in the configuration, which is actually a little bit shorter than how it is from factory.
It's nice that they give you the jumper in the box too.
Yeah, that's not something you have to buy additional, which is nice. This thing was extraordinarily tight. Put it back in there. Just clips in like that. And this is just 4 screws to hold this guy in, so nothing too crazy. Okay, so now we're ready to go slap 6-cell in this beast, go outside, and go have some fun. Are you excited?
Heck yeah. Nice! Let's see it. Okay, great.
awkward throw.
Oh, are we ready? Okay. So that was Aaron's UDR truck. I had a blast driving that thing. Tons of fun.
Yeah.
Lots of power.
Especially on 6L.
Oh yeah, 6L is just amazing.
But
So
I guess that's episode 8.
Yeah, that's episode 8. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook every Friday at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. And obviously we got the UDR dirty, so we're gonna have kind of some tips and tricks next week on how to clean it. We're also gonna take on kind of a really big question in the Q&A section.
Nitro versus electric. Right? Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You read my mind.
Right in
like
there.
just took the words right out of my mouth. But perfect. But you did good. So we're happy. So yeah, that was episode 8. Thank you everyone for the support on our 2 months anniversary, really.
Yes.
Episode number 8. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, like Chris said. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody.
See you later.